Chapter 1. I got up from Emma's bed. She lazily tossed my underwear at me. I've changed the door code. Don't come over unless there's something important. I froze, instinctively asking why. She smiled, curling her lips. I promised to be his girlfriend yesterday. I'm afraid he'll be upset if he sees you here. When I opened my eyes, my waist was aching. No choice that Emma really knew how to take what she wanted. And she had this way of making you keep going. Couldn't stop. Absolutely couldn't stop. Turning around, she was already awake. Her beautiful shoulders and back, exposed to the sunlight, displayed a hue of white with a hint of red. Her eyes half-lidded, radiating seductive charm. Why are you up so early? Her voice still carried a trace of huskiness from last night's restless fun. The stiffness in my waist made me frown. I bent down to put on my pants but realized I had been too hasty yesterday, that my zipper was completely ruined. Emma rolled over, flicking her fingers at the white lace lingerie I had brought her yesterday. She tossed it back to me, a mischievous smile at the corner of her eyes. Your taste really needs some improvement. You keep making me wear this old-fashioned white lace. Can't you get me something more fresh? I caught the lingerie. Well then, I'll buy you some new lingerie. What kind do you like? But Emma interrupted me. No need. I'm going to change the door code later. Don't come by unless it's necessary. I was stunned. I'd been seeing Emma like this for a year. At first, she'd call me over every few days. Later, except for when she had to work late, I'd practically lived at her place. We'd eat together, watch shows, and when we got off work early, we'd curl up on the couch to watch movies and eat popcorn. By the time the movie was over, we'd be tangled up in each other like a real couple. Over time, I had gotten used to this life. Sometimes I couldn't help but think, maybe Emma had gotten used to me too. What if we could build a family together? It would be so happy. But now she was telling me not to come over anymore. I instinctively asked, is your family coming over? I can't. She sat up, looking at me, her lips curling into a faint smile. No, I promised to be his girlfriend. It took me a moment to figure out who she meant. I had heard recently that a newly graduated rich kid had been chasing after her like crazy. Over the years, countless men had pursued her, but she'd never agreed to any of them. I had thought that this rich kid, freshly out of college, was just seeking novelty to naively thinking he could handle a woman like Emma. So I hadn't paid much attention. I hoarsely asked, are you serious? Emma smiled. Serious. He's different from those other guys, Michael. You don't know that he's so sincere. Unlike many men, I can tell what's on their minds with just one glance. She said this, staring directly into my eyes. I gave a faint smile, not responding. She continued, I don't want him to know about us. He'll be upset. Sunlight streamed in through the gap in the curtains, blinding. It was so sharp it made me dizzy. All right, I said calmly after a pause. Then I'll pack up and leave today. No need to hurry. Emma smiled gently, casually grabbing a pleated skirt and putting it on. Didn't you return your apartment? Stay another couple of days and find somewhere else before you leave. I closed my eyes for a moment. The bitter pain in my chest exploded, leaving me at a loss for words. No, I'm leaving today. I wasn't sure why I felt so urgent. Emma was right that I really didn't have anywhere else to go, but I just wanted to leave immediately. I felt like Emma had stripped me bare, leaving me to dry out in the sun. I was being swallowed up by shame. At Emma's place, my things didn't take up much space. Most of what I bought was for her convenience: appliances, cookware, bedding, and a few miscellaneous decorative pillows. The house was decorated in a minimalist style, and she had once said helplessly that ever since I moved in, the place had gotten more cluttered. But my personal belongings could fit in a single suitcase. As I was about to leave, Emma stopped me. She leaned against the door frame, one hand lightly resting on the door, her body slightly tilted to one side. Her gaze held a faint smile, and the corners of her lips curled up as she said, Michael, you're not a kid anymore. You should find someone and settle down from now on. We're still friends. I understood what she meant and nodded. All right. Chapter 2. The winter in South City is damp and cold. Not particularly low in temperature, but the chill seems to drill right into your bones. It feels like it's snowing. I see what flakes fall gently on the tip of my nose. I look up, and the sky that had been clear a moment ago suddenly seems to darken. Countless tiny snowflakes fall with the wind. South City hasn't seen snow in years. Since Emma and I came here, it seems like snow has become a rare sight. I suddenly remember the snow from my hometown, a small coastal city in the north, where every winter The humid sea breeze turns into heavy snowflakes, falling all night. By the time the morning comes, the snow can reach your knees, and everything around you is a blanket of white. It's refreshing. Unlike the endless drizzling snow here in the south that makes people feel a little uncomfortable inside. I put my luggage to one side and decided to sit at a bus stop on the side of the road to call home. My mom picked up the phone quickly, her voice excited yet cautious. Michael? The cold air stung my nose, and I rubbed at my sore nostrils. Mom, I'm craving the dumplings you make. She responded happily. I'll make them for you. Let me check the flights. It's almost New Year's, so tickets might be hard to get. I interrupted her. No need, Mom. I'm coming home for the New Year this year. She paused for a moment. Then her voice became bright with joy. Really? I looked up. Snowflakes seemed to get in my eyes. I blinked, feeling my eyes dampen, and said hoarsely, Mom, I'm planning to go back to my hometown. That afternoon, I handed in my resignation. My boss tried to persuade me. Is it because of salary? You can tell us that we can negotiate. The department manager is moving on next year, and you're the one with the most potential to get promoted. It would be a shame to leave now. I smiled and shook my head. Thanks, Mrs. Laura, but I want to go home and spend time with my parents. I've never been an ambitious person. I don't have any dreams of being on top. I just want to live a peaceful life. I came to South City because of Emma. She wanted to develop her career here, so I stayed with her without hesitation. I thought that as long as I spent enough time by her side, she would eventually notice me. But it turns out love is something you can't force, that no matter how hard you try. On my way to the hotel, a bookstore by the street was playing a song. A woman's voice sang with intensity. Adventurous love turned into your puppet, year after year, only to realize how miserable you are. Loving to the point of compromise, but in the end still no solution. Tying you down, not letting you fly. History keeps repeating, and it's making me tired. I listened quietly for a moment. The first time I met Emma, I was 17. Now at 28, I had compromised for Emma for these years. I was about to turn 30. This 12-year-long absurdity should come to an end. Chapter 3. That night, I dreamed of Emma as she was when she was a teenager. Emma, at 17, transferred to our small county school in her second year of high school. At a time when most of the kids in the county were still awkward and scruffy, she wore a black dress, her long hair cascading down her shoulders, her figure slim and elegant. She looked like someone from another world, a model straight out of a fashion magazine. That afternoon, almost all the boys in the grade crowded by the windows to stare at her. Within days, even freshmen were delivering love letters to her. She became the school's new campus beauty. But she ignored everyone, always sitting alone at the back of the class sleeping. It seemed like she wasn't interested in anything. She didn't bring anything to class, didn't listen to the lessons, and the teacher didn't bother her. Occasionally during exams, she would poke me on the back. Hey, let me copy your answers. She seemed to assume I wouldn't refuse, and I really didn't refuse. Because of that, many girls didn't like her, saying she dressed like that to seduce men. A lot of those bad boys with mixed-up boyfriends would constantly send her love letters and harass her, making the girls jealous. For several days, I saw Emma come to class with handprints on her face. Until that day, when I passed by and saw her being slapped by a group of girls in an alley. Her face was covered with dirt and bruises, and there were bloody marks on her forehead. I didn't hesitate. I stopped my bike, grabbed a brick from the side of the road, and smashed it on the head of the girl leading the group. Seeing my aggressive demeanor, the others scattered in fear. I threw the brick aside, took out a band-aid from my pocket, and handed it to her. Your face is bleeding. She lifted her head and shot me a cold glance. Get lost. At that time, I thought she was really annoying. Couldn't even tell good from bad. What a jerk. I didn't like her anyway after that. No matter how much she poked me for answers, I ignored her. A month later, fewer girls came to pick on Emma, but the rumors about her in class increased. Some said the black dress she had only worn once was from an unheard of brand, costing more than 30,000 yuan. Some said she was a love child, her mother a mistress, that she and her mother had been discovered by her father's legal wife, and her father had abandoned them. Her mother couldn't survive in South City, so she had taken Emma back to her hometown. All the eyes on Emma, admiring, dismissive, or curious, that had a hint of something subtle. One winter evening on my way home from school, I passed that alley and found Emma lying on the ground. She seemed to have just been badly beaten. Her fingers were covered in blood, and her beautiful face was bruised, with blood dripping from her forehead. I didn't want to help her, but when I saw her lying there with her eyes shut in the snow kept falling, and she was almost buried in it. Her face pale, I was afraid she might actually die. So I cautiously approached and poked her. "Emma, are you okay?" She didn't respond. I panicked and took out my phone. "I'll call 911. Only then did Emma open her eyes, frowning. "Why is it you again?" I was a little annoyed, but there was no time to argue. "You're seriously hurt. Let me take you to the hospital." "Mind your own business," she sneered, then closed her eyes again. I didn't argue. I called 911. She was dressed too lightly, just in a white knitted sweater. So after hesitating for a moment, I took off my black down jacket and covered her with it. Emma was stunned. As I left, she called me. I turned around. My down jacket was an old style, bought years ago, and it looked a bit ridiculous on her. She stared at me coldly. "Didn't you know my mom's a mistress?" I hopped onto my bike. "I've heard." "So what then? Why did you save me?" "Your mom is your mom. You're you." I thought for a moment. "Besides, being a mistress might be bad, but it's not a death sentence, right?" Emma didn't respond. Her trembling eyelashes, covered in snow, stared at me. The sound of the ambulance grew louder, and I waved my hand. "Don't forget to return my down jacket." Chapter 4. After that, Emma didn't come to school for a week. The girls who had bullied Emma didn't fare any better after Emma's mother stormed into the school. All of them were expelled. A week later, Emma returned. She handed me a blue down jacket, turned her head, and said, "Your jacket got ruined, so I'm replacing it with a new one." I didn't feel anything strange, so I just accepted it. It wasn't until much later that I learned how much that down jacket cost. It could buy every piece of clothing I had ever owned in my life. From there, things progressed naturally. Emma's attitude toward me slowly improved, and I became the only friend she had in this small town. Before the college entrance exams, Emma suddenly asked me, "Michael, do you want to go abroad?" I was taken aback. She lowered her head, her ears turning red. "My mom plans to send me to the US after the exams. Do you want to come with me?" I smiled bitterly and said, "Young miss, how could my family afford to send me abroad?" "Then where do you plan to go?" I thought for a moment and said, "Probably the capital. I'm afraid I won't adapt to the climate in the South. The capital is also closer to home that I'd only need a few hours on a train to get back." Emma reached out and tugged at my knitted cap, pulling it over my eyes without saying anything else. Later, the teacher asked us to write down our ideal universities, and I thought Emma would write down a university in the US. But instead, she wrote the same university in the capital as I did. I was surprised and asked, "Emma, weren't you planning to go to the US?" She leaned over her desk, mumbling, "I suddenly feel like the US isn't all that great. The capital isn't bad either." But 3 days before the exams, Emma tore up that piece of paper. When I asked her, she just stayed silent. That night, I found out that Emma's father's legitimate wife and son had both died in the same car accident. Her father asked her mother to bring Emma back, and after losing a son, he finally started paying attention to his only remaining daughter. He promised that if she stayed in South City, he would give her mother a legitimate status and let her inherit the family business. Emma said she didn't care for her father's money, but her mother slapped her, crying as she said, "Do you know why I've suffered all these years? For whom? As long as your father marries me, I won't be a mistress anymore. No one will be able to say you're the daughter of a mistress anymore." In the summer, when cicadas buzzed and made your head throb, under the shade of a silver birch tree, Emma lowered her head and wouldn't look at me. "I'm sorry, Michael. I can't go to the capital with you." Her voice still carried a husky tone, and her eyes were red from crying. I thought for a moment, then lowered my head and gently patted her on the head, saying, "It's okay. Then I'll go with you to South City." Chapter 5. When I opened my eyes, it was already morning. Maybe it was because I had been out in the snow yesterday, but my head felt a little sore. However, tonight is a friend's birthday, and I've already bought the gift. I have to go. I picked up my phone, and Emma's message was the first thing I saw. She sent me a picture of a Snoopy pajama set. I forgot to take my pajamas. Come get them tonight. That was the pair of pajamas Emma had mistakenly ordered, as she meant to buy one for me as a gift, but accidentally ordered two. So one for her and one for me. Whenever she wore them, I would feel a fleeting sense of happiness, thinking for a moment that she belonged to me, even if only for a second. But now, looking back, it feels pitifully laughable. I typed a few words in response. Throw it away. I don't need it. She didn't reply. I flipped over and covered my eyes with my arm. After moving to South City, many things happened to Emma. I found out that her mother wasn't a mistress after all. It was actually Emma's mother who got together with her father first, and she had Emma because she truly loved him. Later, her father married a woman from a comparable family to form a proper alliance and abandoned them both. Even after marrying Emma's mother, her father still spent his time fooling around with other women and even wanted to have more sons. Her mother's life was hard. She fought with her husband every day, eventually falling into severe depression and committing suicide by jumping off a building. After that, her father seemed to have finally turned over a new leaf. He stopped looking for other women. But the rift between father and daughter was beyond repair. Emma never went back home after that. She started going to bars, nightclubs, and hanging out with all kinds of people in the entertainment industry. She drank, partied until dawn, and even learned how to smoke. The once pure, cold, and clean Emma seemed to vanish like a dream, that a fleeting illusion in my memory. Chapter 6. That night at the party, I met Emma's new boyfriend for the first time. To my surprise, he was clean-cut and cheerful, wearing a light gray sweater paired with dark blue jeans. His short hair was neatly combed, and a warm smile gave off a sunny vibe. He wasn't particularly striking, but his gaze was sincere. Emma was right that compared to the guys who had pursued her in the past, he was truly different. However, he walked over and shook my hand with a smile. You must be Michael, right? Emma talks about you all the time. She's such a liar, though she said you dress old-fashioned and look poor, but you actually look pretty classy. We're both guys, right? We know how it is. It was clear he knew about my relationship with Emma, and he was teasing me. Before I could respond, Emma interrupted, linking her arm with his. Lucas, this is your brother. Law. The others immediately joined in the teasing. Brother. Law, you better treat Emma well. So many people have chased her over the years, and no one's won her heart. When's the wedding? I'll give you a big red envelope. Lucas smiled calmly, putting an arm around Emma in a polite gesture. Of course. Emma hugged him back, turning to the others. All right, if you didn't know better, you'd think I invited you here to play matchmaker. You'll scare my Lucas away. He can marry me whenever he wants. Her friends laughed. Looks like you two are already in sync. What a love feast tonight. We found seats. In the past, Emma would always sit beside me at such gatherings. But this time, out of habit, she sat to my left. Before I could remind her, Lucas approached me. Michael, could you please change seats? After all, you're single. It's better to avoid sitting next to a taken woman, don't you think? I was speechless. I'd been sitting there first, but now it seemed like I was the one encroaching. What kind of logic was that? I glanced at them and stood up, moving to the opposite side of the table. The night was lively, and I lost track of how much alcohol I consumed. During dinner, Lucas reached for the fish, and Emma instinctively said, "Aren't you allergic to fish?" Lucas went silent, and my chopsticks froze mid-air. After a long pause, his face darkened. "Emma, I'm not allergic to fish." Emma paused, brows furrowing slightly, her eyes avoiding his. I must have remembered wrong. Lucas glared at her. Who is allergic to fish? Emma's face flushed pink, and she bit her lip. I forgot. I really don't remember. Lucas shot me a glance, expression darkening. Without a word, he placed the fish plate in front of me, gaze cold. Michael, this fish is good. Try it. None of the other friends noticed the tension. In their drunken stupor, one slurred, Lucas, you don't know Michael is allergic to fish. He can't eat it. Lucas replied flatly, oh really? As the alcohol flowed, a friend blurted out, Emma, we all bet whether you'd get married before 30, and who would have thought you'd find true love so quickly? Another, tipsy, giggled, yeah, we all thought you and Michael would end up together. You two were so close. Lucas's face turned stormy. Emma awkwardly tried to cover it up, laughing as if it were the funniest thing. Really? How could we ever be together? We're just best friends. You're so funny. Her friends joined in. Exactly. Now we know you're just platonic opposite-sex friends. I laughed along. Exactly. How could I end up with Emma? That's ridiculous. Emma walked over and poked my shoulder, clearly drunk, her face flushed, eyes glassy. She tilted her head. Michael, you don't really like me, do you? In that moment, I searched her eyes for something, but there was nothing. She looked at me frankly, as if we truly were just friends. I smiled slightly. Of course not. Good. Emma nodded, tapping my shoulder. We're just best friends. Despite the alcohol, I'd never felt clearer. I repeated, yeah, best friends. Chapter 7. The next morning, I bought a direct flight home. Before boarding, I checked my phone one last time. Emma had posted a new status, a photo of her and Lucas with their hands interlocked. No caption, an official announcement. Below were countless congratulatory messages from friends. I stared at it, then took out my SIM card and tossed it in the trash. Going home was easier than I'd imagined. My parents picked me up. It was nearing New Year's, the streets lined with red lanterns, stores playing Gong Shi Kai. It wasn't as bustling as South City, but the scent of fireworks made me feel unexpectedly at ease. My mom was ecstatic. I hadn't been home for New Year's in 3 years, all to stay with Emma. But soon, she started nagging. You're almost 30. Why haven't you settled down? The neighbor's son, Sam, is a year younger and already helps with groceries. Oh, and that young man at my work is going on blind dates. Our neighbor just had a beautiful granddaughter that I'll introduce you, okay? She had me carefully. In the past, I'd hated blind dates. I'd liked Emma. She was the only one in my heart. After our messy relationship turned complicated, I thought I had a chance, so I ignored my parents' hints. But this time, looking at the red fireworks scraps out the window, I felt exhausted. Maybe settling down wasn't so bad. Okay, I said. You don't have to resist so much. I know you like that girl Emma, but... I nodded. I said okay. Introduce me. Chapter 8. That night after dinner, I habitually picked up my phone and received a WeChat call from Emma. I'd switched to a new account, but still logged into the old one for old friends. She spoke as if nothing had happened. Why can't I get through to your phone anymore? Before I could answer, she continued, never mind. I've prepared everything for New Year's. Do you need anything special? I suddenly remembered the year Emma's mother died. I'd gone home for New Year's, and on New Year's Eve, I called her on video. It took ages to connect, and when the screen lit up, it was pitch black except for a dim red to orange light fading. Emma's voice was hoarse, like cold wind seeping through cracks. What's up? When my eyes adjusted, I saw Emma sitting alone on the balcony, surrounded by empty bottles. Outside, the city was lit up with fireworks, but the festivity seemed irrelevant to her. She sat on the windowsill, watching others' perfect lives, drowning in solitude. In that moment, I felt overwhelming pity. My throat tightened, and I forced a smile. Wishing you a happy new year early. Got any red envelopes? She chuckled faintly, and a transfer notification pinged. She'd sent 100,000 yuan. I was stunned. Then Emma said, Michael, when are you coming back? Her voice was lost in the wind. I didn't know if she'd said I'm lonely or I miss you. I told my parents there was an emergency at work, bought the next flight back to South City. At 3 a.m., South City was still lively, but Emma's apartment was dark. Panting, I knocked hard. Emma, open the door. She opened it quickly, staring at me in shock. Yuta, how did you come back? I smiled. Came to spend New Year's with you. Emma didn't speak, just stared. When I started to feel awkward, she suddenly threw her arms around me, holding on tightly, as if burying her pain in my arms. Her head rested on my shoulder, silent tears soaking my shirt. From then on, spending New Year's with Emma before going home became a habit. But this year, she had Lucas. And yet she still called, wanting to spend New Year's together. I glanced out the window. I'm going back home. Emma froze, not expecting this. After a moment, she said, yeah, it's been years since you went home for New Year's. You should visit. I gripped my phone tightly. Silence. Then Lucas's voice. Emma, come here. I fixed the hot water for your shower. Coming, Emma replied. I said flatly, I'm hanging up. Her voice was unreadable. I pulled the phone away and pressed end. The screen went dark. Chapter 9. I thought I wouldn't sleep, but I passed out as soon as my head hit the pillow. Waking at 2 a.m. from thirst, I went to the kitchen for water. As I turned to go upstairs, I heard a faint noise from the bathroom. A thief? My body tensed, heart racing. Hesitating, I grabbed a rolling pin from the table. Near the bathroom, the door opened. Startled, I swung the pin down. The figure dodged nimbly. A woman, dressed only in underwear. I dropped the pin, grabbed her wrist, and pinned her to the wall. To my surprise, she smelled of lavender. Then she struggled violently, twisting to scratch my face. I instinctively bit her arm. She begged through tears. Please let me go? My clothes are in the living room. The money I stole is my dad's secret stash, 0.2000 yuan. If it's not enough, I can transfer more on WeChat. I only have a few thousand. Let me go, and we'll forget this. I'm young, never been in a relationship. Please. Stunned, I turned on the light. A young woman was pinned against the wall, water droplets running down her fair cheeks, over trembling eyelashes and almond eyes, falling onto her soft body. Her curves were pressed against the wall, eyes full of fear. I recognized her. She looked exactly like the photo my mom had shown me of the neighbor's tenant, Anna. Anna? I asked hesitantly. She nodded, confused. Later, dressed, she explained, the neighbor's water heater broke, and the landlady sent me here to shower. Sorry I scared you. I was speechless, embarrassed, wishing I could disappear. Sorry Anna waved it off. It's fine. You scared me, though. I thought I was done for. She paused, covering her arm. There was a small, purpling bite mark. I scratched my head awkwardly. Let me get iodine. Sitting on the couch next to her, I learned Anna was an artist visiting for inspiration. Looks deep, I said, frowning at her wound. Need a tetanus shot? Anna rubbed her face. I think I need a rabies shot. Realizing she was teasing, I glared, but my gaze lacked bite. Anna chuckled. To be fair, your bite mark is quite round. It has aesthetic appeal. Chapter 10. My mom adored Anna, often inviting her for dinner and giving me suggestive looks. Anna is such a nice girl. She chats with me, keeps me company. Look at her. So beautiful. If you two married, your kids would. Mom, enough, I pleaded. It wasn't that I didn't think Anna was great, but I'd seen her wear a trench coat carelessly tossed on my couch. I recognized that Emma had a custom-made Italian one worth 6 figures. Anna was from a rich family, not my world. Yet Anna charmed my parents. She called them sir and madam, tended to the garden, filling it with flowers. Even my dad praised her. On New Year's Eve, my mom invited her to dinner. Why invite her? I asked. My mom glared. Anna's alone. Don't you have a heart? Let her spend New Year's without dumplings? I watched Anna sit at the table, smiling with sparkling eyes. Madam, your dumplings are delicious. My mom beamed, piling her plate. Eat more if you like them. She sighed, looking at me. Michael, when will you bring a wife home? Embarrassed, I said, Mom, there are people here. Anna turned to me. Michael seems warm-hearted and handsome. Some young lady will like him, madam. Don't worry. My mom pouted. I'm not worried. He was so cute as a kid, just like his father. I'll show you his baby pictures. She pulled out the photo album. This was at 100 days. So chubby. Look at him in elementary school. Those chubby cheeks. When my dad called my mom away, I awkwardly approached Anna. She's like this. Don't mind. Anna looked up, smiling. No, madam is right. You were really cute. I froze. Chapter 11. After the New Year's gala, firecrackers still popped outside. The small town allowed fireworks, and colorful blooms filled the sky. Cheap, but dazzling. Standing on the balcony with a beer, I couldn't stop thinking about my friend's words. Emma was vacationing at White Horse Manor with Lucas, planning their wedding in a few days. He'd scolded me. You've been hung up on her for so long, and she's moving on. Pathetic. I knew he was right. She'd never said she liked me, but I clung to her, pretending we had something. I loved her too much to let go, even if our intimacy was fake. But those joys were fleeting, like fireworks. Are you bothered? I turned to see Anna with a lollipop, tilting her head. After I shook my head, she came closer, twirling the lollipop. I tried to make conversation. Aren't you lonely for New Year's? Where are your parents? Anna chewed the lollipop. Far away. I winced. Sorry. She grinned. They're on a cruise to Antarctica. I shut up, feeling foolish. Anna laughed, accidentally cracking the candy, then grabbed my beer and took a swig. I already had some, I said dryly. She handed me an unopened bottle, taking mine naturally. What's fun to do here in winter? Not much. It's too cold. Watch a movie, maybe. She nodded, then asked, why did you come here? Fieldwork. Anna squinted at the horizon. Don't you think winter here is beautiful? Yeah. When are you leaving? She paused, smiling. I thought spring, but now I want to stay longer. Why? Just then, my phone rang. An unfamiliar number. I motioned to Anna, who stepped back. Hello? Silence. Then Emma's voice. Michael, did you change your phone number? Chapter 12. I'd wanted to cut contact, telling only 2 friends my new number. I planned to delete my old WeChat, but Emma found me easily. Ion Hodukuying. Pause. Then Emma's voice, low. When are you coming back? I'll find you. Fireworks exploded in the distance, their brilliance fading to ashes. I took a deep breath, throat tightening. Emma, I'm not coming back. Silence. Seconds later, her voice was flat. You're not coming back? What do you mean? I opened a beer, foam spilling. I'm not going back to South City. I'm staying here. You're right that I'm not getting younger. It's time to settle down. All I heard was her breathing. I'll hang up if you have nothing else. Don't look for me again. As I started to end the call, Emma raised her voice. Michael, what do you mean? Say it clearly. Just then, Anna opened the balcony door. More beer? Emma froze. Michael, who's with you? I hung up and blocked the number. Sorry, did I interrupt? Anna asked. I shook my head. No. X. She leaned in, gossiping. No, really? I took a sip, cold liquid sliding down my throat, leaving a hollow chill. I shivered. A warm red scarf was draped around my neck. I turned at Anna blushed. Don't freeze. That night, I drank with Anna until dawn. My parents left us alone. When I woke, I found myself in bed. Downstairs, Anna was already dressed, sitting with my mom, peeling garlic and chatting. I couldn't help but click my tongue. Some people could look like a model even while peeling garlic. No wonder she was an artist that looking at her face every day. How could her sense of aesthetics not be refined? My mom frowned and scolded me. It's already so late, and you're still sleeping. It's New Year's Day, and Anna has already come to wish us a happy new year. I glared at Anna. We'd drunk together last night, and now she was trying to get me in trouble. My mom noticed the bite mark on Anna's arm and exclaimed, Oh my, what bit you? This big bruise that was it a dog? I stopped in my tracks. Anna smiled faintly. Oh, just a little curly-haired dog. Never mind the dog. Did you get a vaccine? I did, ma'am. I gritted my teeth as my mom rambled on. You young people staying at home all day is so boring. Go out and see the sights. Even though our town is small, there are lots of beautiful places. Anna lowered her long lashes, a touch of melancholy in her eyes. Ma'am, I don't have any friends here, and I'm not sure where to go. My mom felt sorry for her and pointed at me. This lazybones is always lazing around. Let him accompany you. Anna smiled contentedly. Ah, thank you, ma'am. I rolled my eyes. Anna looked like a high dot and mighty flower, but she was just a pretentious coquette. The next morning, I quickly packed up, planning to have breakfast before taking Anna out. My mom was still in the kitchen when the doorbell rang. I assumed it was Anna mooching food again and muttered, Back to mooch off us? My words caught in my throat. Standing at the door was Emma, wearing a black down jacket with snowflakes on her shoulders. When she blinked, melting snow dampened her lashes. Yuta, what are you doing here? I stuttered. I'm here to wish your parents a happy new year and pick up my red envelope. She replied smoothly. My mom came out with a spatula, cheerful. Anna's here. I made your favorite braised pork buns. She froze at the sight of Emma. Emma nodded at my mom. Happy New Year, ma'am. I'm Emma, Michael's friend. She set down a pile of bags and added politely, I hope you don't mind the drop.in. My mom nervously put down the spatula. Ah, no, not at all. Have you eaten, Emma? Join us if you haven't. I expected Emma to refuse. When had someone so high-class ever eaten in our humble home? But she nodded. No, I haven't. Thank you, ma'am. I watched her quietly, wondering if she'd lost her mind. My parents were polite but distant. They weren't fools. They knew who'd caused my setbacks. To them, their son was perfect, so anyone who didn't like him was blind. Soon, the doorbell rang again. My mom opened it to Anna, holding a watermelon. Ma'am, I saw watermelons for sale and thought I'd buy one. My mom's face lit up. Oh, you didn't have to. Watermelons are so expensive in winter that you're wasting money. It's not expensive, ma'am. I smell braised pork buns. Did you make them? Yes. My mom quickly handed Anna a pair of slippers, the one she liked. Anna had practically made herself at home, even having her own slippers. At this rate, my parents would adopt her as a daughter. The dining room grew lively. Anna chatted with my mom about gossip that Mrs. Lee's daughter marrying a gangster and getting pregnant, Mr. Wong from the east side cheating with his maid, while Emma stayed silent, eating little. I couldn't understand it. Anna, a painter, was supposed to be aloof, but here she was, gossiping with a middle-aged woman. When Anna asked me, Michael, where are we going today? Emma suddenly set down her chopsticks, glaring at Anna. Who are you? Her tone was rude. Anna wasn't bothered, smiling. Oh, I live here. Emma's face darkened. The rest of the meal was unbearable. After eating, I pulled Emma upstairs. Why are you really here? Shouldn't you be on vacation with Lucas? Emma turned away. I suddenly didn't feel like going. She grew angry. Michael, why did you come back? Did something happen in South City? We're friends. If you need help, I can assist. As long as you're willing to come back, right? You must be short on cash. Don't let pride starve you. I stared at her. Her arrogance was blatant, but on her beautiful face, even harshness looked elegant. Years hadn't changed her. I smiled bitterly. Emma, what would I come back for? She froze. What about me? After all these years, you're just leaving me behind? Her brows furrowed, eyes full of conflict. I cut her off. But you have Lucas. I can't stay with you forever. I need to settle down, find someone, live a normal life that you said so yourself. Emma stared blankly as Anna called from outside. Michael, the car's here. As I stepped out, Emma grabbed my arm. Who is she? Her face darkened. A house guest? I bet your parents want her as a daughter. Law. You came back for her, didn't you? I grew impatient. Think what you want. I'm leaving. Then Emma snapped, shouting, Have you slept with her? Is she better than me? Slap. I hit her hard across the face. Emma turned, cheek stinging. Blood seeped from the corner of her mouth. She wiped it, a tear falling as she smiled faintly. Michael, you've really changed at hitting a woman. She grabbed my right hand, pressing it to her other cheek. Is that better? Hit this side too, if you want. Looking at her, my heart ached. I laughed bitterly. Emma, what do you want? Are you insulting yourself or the me who stayed by your side? Emma snapped out of it, wiping tears. I'm sorry, Michael. I shouldn't have said that. Pent-up emotions burst, and I felt faint, like low blood sugar. The world spun as I collapsed on the couch, fingers trembling. Emma panicked. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. Hit me again, please. She dragged my hand to her face, sobbing. Shaking with anger, I pointed to the door. Get out, Emma. You disgust me. Get out. This was the first time I'd hit her, the first time I'd cursed her. Emma froze, confused. Her phone rang. Lucas's voice. Emma, where are you? I have food poisoning, in the hospital. When are you coming back? Emma didn't respond, hanging up. After a long pause, she said softly, Michael, if you ask me to stay, I will. I looked at her, smiling calmly. Go, Emma. Don't come back. Emma gave me one last look, eyes dark. Fine. Michael, don't regret it. A tear fell, splashing on the floor. She slammed the door and left. Chapter 14. I didn't understand Emma's outburst. Maybe she wasn't used to me being gone, even if she didn't like me. She expected me to orbit her. But with her pride, after I'd spoken that way, she'd never return. My eyes ached, heart heavy yet empty. That day, I couldn't go out with Anna. When I explained, red-eyed, she said nothing, just took my hand. That night, my parents visited relatives. Opening the door, I found Anna holding a pair of Ultraman underwear on her finger. What the hell, those are mine. I flushed, grabbing them. Where did you get these? Anna blinked innocently. They blew over from your balcony. I was in the yard, and they landed on my head. I felt my head explode, speechless. Anna laughed, eyeing the underwear. Her smile was infuriating. What's so funny? I glared. Ultraman is a symbol of mature men, she teased. When I have a kid, I'll name him Digga. I was speechless. She could make any connection. Rest well. If you feel faint, eat these. She handed me a jar of chocolates. I'll see you tomorrow. Closing the door, I held the chocolates. Warmth spread from my palms. Touching my chest, I felt something swelling there. Chapter 15. Anna and I never made it to the movie. The 6 p.m. showing was missed because of heavy snow. No cabs, and I hadn't driven. She insisted on waiting for the last bus, but we arrived as it pulled away. We chased it through the snow, but failed. Anna fumed. An $80 movie ticket, wasted. Nothing we can do. Since you did your makeup, let's walk by the sea. The winter sea was beautiful, coated in a cold blue. Streets were white, blue signs peeking through snow. Couples huddled, laughing on narrow streets. Car headlights turned falling snowflakes warm yellow. Walking the beach, I asked Anna, now revealed as a famous artist, what she'd been painting. She stuck out her tongue. I'm not telling. The cold sea breeze pierced my clothes. Anna rubbed her hands, exhaling white breath. I told you to wear more. You prioritized looking pretty, now you're cold. I didn't usually tease, but with Anna, I couldn't help it. She shot back. A real man would give his coat to a woman. Are you even a man? I'm only wearing one jacket. If I give it to you, I'll freeze. Anna stormed ahead. You dog of a man. I'll warm up by exercising. I grabbed her arm. I can't give you my coat, but we can share it. Unzipping my jacket, I pulled her into my arms, wrapping us both. Lavender scented my nose as she pressed to my chest. I felt her heartbeat, or maybe mine, drumming like a pulse. Warmth chased away the chill. We stood quietly, wrapped in each other. At some point, the snow stopped, stars peeking through clouds. One star shone brightly. Michael, Anna asked, have you read The Nightingale and the Rose? A nightingale hears a student cry because he can't find a red rose, so she gives her life to make one. I nodded. What happened next? Why did he need the rose? Waves had frozen, a white sheet on the beach, snow accumulating. Michael, Anna called, gazing up at me. Her eyes glowed softly, tender. She rose on tiptoe, a cool kiss landing on my lips. Chapter 16. Sitting on the plane back to South City, I smiled bitterly at the window. I'd just sworn I wouldn't return, but a friend's wedding was unmissable. Anna wanted to come, but after our kiss, my mind was chaos, so I refused. She wasn't happy. At the airport, she'd said, if you don't come back, I'll find you in South City. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow. I just placed my red envelope in the box at the banquet hall when I fell to gaze. Emma naturally sat beside me. Lucas frowned at me, but smiled. Michael, I heard you went back to your hometown. Why return so soon? I came for the wedding, then I'll leave. Lucas sighed in relief, his smile widening. I see. Pity, but when Emma and I get married, you must attend. Too tired to argue, I simply replied, sure, if I have time. Throughout dinner, Emma flaunted her affection, feeding Lucas, clinging to him, making him drink. They were inseparable. Once, this would have bothered me, but now my mind replayed Anna's kiss. What did it mean? Did she like me? Did I like her? As Emma and Lucas grew more intimate, her expression shifted when he placed beef on her plate. Lucas, I'm allergic to beef that you forgot. Lucas froze, about to speak, when chaos erupted at the next table. The groom's family raged because the bride had bought a house before the wedding. Drunk shouting turned to fighting, dishes flying. Bottles hurtled toward our table. Emma pushed me away. One struck Lucas's head. Blood seeped as he stared at Emma, who'd turned to me in panic. Michael, are you okay? Noticing Lucas's wound, Emma fell silent. He clenched his fists, jaw tight, saying nothing. A bad feeling struck that I had to leave. I'll go first. Thanks for earlier. Emma chased after me. Lucas yelled, Emma, if you follow him, we're done. Her steps halted. Turning to Lucas, her face showed relief. Okay. Lucas's eyes widened. Then he laughed bitterly, voice full of anguish. Emma, what even are you? He stormed off, disgraced. Chapter 17. Outside the hotel, I asked why. Emma didn't answer. Finally, she laughed mockingly. Because I like you. I get it now that I'm pathetic. Her slender frame seemed to collapse. If we're together, I'll give you anything. Come back, Michael. Staring at her, I thought, if she'd said this months ago, I'd loved her for years, exhausted yet unyielding. Now, her reciprocation felt ridiculous. No, I said. She grabbed my shoulder. Why? Can you truly say you don't like me? Looking into her eyes, I saw the girl I'd loved for a decade, now a woman. But everything had changed. No one waits forever, Emma. Loving you is too hard. I'm done. Rain poured. Emma's gaze pleaded, raindrops dimming the spark in her eyes. Michael, don't do this. Give me another chance that I'm begging you. Pride had never made her so humble. But the fire in me had long been extinguished. Gently prying her hand away, I whispered, it's too late. Raindrops clung to her lashes, her clothes soaking through. A droplet fell. Rain or tear, I couldn't tell. Chapter 18. 6 months home, Anna and I hadn't defined our relationship. My last love left me scarred. One day, I found her packing. Leaving? I asked, stunned. She didn't look up. When's your flight? 2 p.m. Soon. Silence. I fumbled. It's nice here in winter, but summers. She shot me a complaint. That's all. Safe travels. Upset, she packed faster. I bent to meet her gaze. Crying? She rolled her eyes. Are you sick? I'm leaving, and that's all. Then stay. Keep me company. She scoffed. Why would I? I'm not a lovesick fool. Watching her, I felt disappointed. Then she leaned in. Are you crying? I turned away. She huffed, I'll be back day after tomorrow. Pick me up. Surprised, I said, you're returning? Paid a year's rent. I tapped her nose. My mom wouldn't charge her future daughter .law. She blushed, swatting me. I pulled her close, kissing her softly. Wait for me, she said. Chapter 19. 6 months later, a friend messaged. Emma had severe depression, overdosed on pills and alcohol. She called your name in the hospital. I refused to visit that our paths had diverged. But one snowy December day, Anna and I saw Emma under a street lamp, coated in snow. Michael, her voice trembled. I sent Anna ahead. What do you need? She stared, eyes red. I can't let go. How did you? Teach me. After enough hurt, you just do. She hunched, my words piercing her. We just missed each other. No, I said. You'd never see me if I didn't stay. We had no future. Tears fell from her eyes, fresh scars on her wrist. I thought not having you was the end, but everyone moves on. You will too. My watch showed 5 minutes that Anna would be jealous. Waving, I walked away. Behind me, Emma wailed, I can't let go. I never will. I didn't look back. At home, Anna mimicked Emma, then brightened. Your mom wants us for dumplings? Let's go, I said. Chapter 20. News of the genius painter Anna's art exhibition trended online. My friend called in a frenzy. Please. You know Anna, get me a ticket. I love her work. When I asked Anna, she handed me one ticket. That's all I have. I rolled my eyes at her arrogance, but on the exhibition day, I couldn't stay away. The venue, the Nightingale's Rose, was empty and dark at the entrance. Doubting the time, I hesitated, then lights flooded the hall. I froze. Every painting was a portrait of me. There I was, drinking beer on the balcony, walking the beach in my coat, laughing with my head down. Anna had captured every moment, each stroke alive with tender love. At the end of the hall stood an oil painting, a nightingale offering a rose to a boy at dawn, the scene glowing softly. Tears welled as Anna stepped from behind the canvas, holding a rose. Will you cherish this nightingale's rose? I pulled her into an embrace. Yes. Forever. Willow's perspective. A friend asked why I liked Lucas. Before I could answer, Michael's face flashed in my mind. He's just a friend, I dismissed it. But Michael, who'd spent 12 years by my side, half his life left for his hometown and never looked back. I refused to believe it. After hanging up, I drank on the balcony, panicking. How could he leave me? When I saw him with Anna, anger consumed me. I spoke recklessly. He slapped me. He told me to go. At home, I found the Snoopy pajamas I'd bought for him. He'd laughed when I wore them, taking pictures. He'd told me to throw them out, but I kept them. Staring at them, I realized too late. I'd loved him all along. My mother's words haunted me. Don't love too much. Love kills. She devoted her life to one man, and it destroyed her. I'd feared love fading, so I kept Michael as a friend, thinking friends stay forever. But he grew tired, he left. I begged him to return, lowering my pride. He smiled sadly. It's too late. The love in his eyes was gone. For a year, I pretended to move on. Ate alone, slept alone. Then insomnia struck, followed by pills and alcohol. In my overdose haze, I dreamed of Michael at 17, draping his jacket over me. Willow, take care of yourself. As he pulled away, turning into the weary man who left me, my chest ached. I finally understood. I'd never let go, and I never would.